everyone, I'm Shani Bakshi, and on this channel I travel the world via books, meaning I read one book from every country in the world, and today I'm paying a visit to France, the home of Pink Panther, the best movie of all time. And so the author I chose for France is Guy de Maupassant, who is a 19th century short story writer who has been known to influence some of the greats, including Henry James and O. Henry. And some even call Guy de Maupassant the father of the short story form and one of its finest practitioners, which is, I think, almost a quote from AmericanLiterature.com. So I chose to read a few of his short stories, and today I'll be just giving you my thoughts on them. So I'll be starting with The Necklace, which is a really popular short story that many students actually study in high school or middle school. So if you're familiar with it, then I definitely recommend watching my reviews of the other short stories, because you might end up actually liking his other lesser known works. So The Necklace, for those of you who need a little refresher, follows this woman who is very gorgeous, very pretty, but she's born to a lower class family, and therefore, even though she looks and behaves like a fine lady, she can only ever be the wife of a poor man. So we follow her when a few years into marriage, when her husband acquires an invitation to this gorgeous and very affluent ball, and he offers it to his wife because he knows how much she enjoys these type of events and this type of luxury, but she insists that she can't go without a dress, so they go and buy her a dress, and then she insists that she can't go without jewelry because then she'll simply look poor, and there's nothing worse than looking poor amongst a group of rich people. So then she goes and gets the jewelry. Then the husband insists that he doesn't have the money to buy jewelry, but how about she go ask her very affluent friend and to borrow some jewelry, and that is what she does. So the big climax of the story really starts off when, after the ball, it turns out that the woman actually lost the necklace, and the rest of the story kind of follows the repercussions from that and the repercussions from the woman's very greedy outlook on life. Overall, it was a great short story. I definitely understand why they make students read it, because it has many great themes that definitely we can benefit from. One theme being we should not be being too greedy, because when we try too hard to get things in life, we might end up losing some of the most important stuff we already have. Additionally, I think it was just a theme of common sense, because in my opinion, the route that the husband and the wife went on to solve the problem was kind of nonsensical, and if they had just been honest and logical, they might have not had such a hard time. And overall, The Necklace is definitely worthy of its title as one of the best short stories, and I definitely recommend anyone to read it, and I definitely recommend teachers to make their students read it, because it's a fantastic piece of literature. So the second story I want to focus on is so my camera cut off, but I was speaking about my next short story that I want to talk about, which is boule de suif. I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I think it means ball of butter, and it is definitely Guy de Maupassant's finest short story, as stated by AmericanLiterature.com, as it pulls on his history as a soldier in the Franco-Prussian War and has a cast of diverse characters, and it evokes a lot of emotions. So the story basically follows this group of diverse characters escaping from a town that has been invaded by the Prussians, and they're all in this carriage together just speaking, and we get to learn more about their backgrounds and sort of the privilege some have and the prejudice some have. So it follows this group of kind of 6 more privileged villagers, 2 nuns, 1 more liberal politician, and our main character, the ball of butter, who is kind of considered a lowlife in their standards, but it turns out that she is the most patriotic and self-sacrificing of them all. And at first, everyone in the carriage is kind of rude to her. They talk bad about her. But throughout the story, she starts self-sacrificing more to eventually earn their respect. But at one point, she does something that gets the entire group out of a tough situation. But what she does is deemed very unworthy of their respect, even though it's helping them. And therefore, at the end of the story, they lose all respect for her and interest for her, even though what she did was absolutely necessary and absolutely courageous. And overall, this is a great short story because it explores many themes such as self-sacrifice and this classism. And I think it's a great short story that will evoke a lot of anger in you at the end, but it will also evoke a lot of love for the main character, the ball of butter. And I just think it's a great short story that really shows human nature. Even in times of war or horrible circumstances, and I recommend everyone just reading this at least once in their lifetime because it can be really, really helpful. And I would give this one a 5 out of 5 stars along with the necklace. Now the third short story is where Guy de Maupassant's amazing work sort of goes on another path, because I don't think the third short story I was talking about is as good as the previous two. So according to AmericanLiterature.com, which is where I've gotten my short stories from, if you have the stomach for it, you might try his truly terrifying piece of gothic fiction, The Hand. So I'm not someone who's read much gothic fiction. However, I can tell you The Hand just wasn't it. It wasn't scary a bit. It wasn't scary it was not scary at all. It felt more like a children's short story. Hi. So Future Shani here. So I just opened up with gothic fiction, American literature, the page on that. So according to that, the genre of gothic literature emerged as the darkest form of dark romanticism. Its extreme expressions of self-destruction and sin involving sheer terror, personal torment, graphic morbidity, madness, and the supernatural. Put simply, they are stories that scare the bejesus out of you. Edgar Allan Poe wrote some of the finest macabre tales in the genre. So, yeah, so again, I'm not a professional, but from what I remember about The Hand, it really didn't scare the bejesus out of me. And I guess there was sort of a supernatural and morbid feel to it, but it really did not feel scary at all. And yeah, I don't want to bash on the story, but it definitely wasn't his best. Yeah, go get back to the video. As the basic premise of the story is that there's this man who lives by himself, and he's kind of this new mysterious guy in the town. And when our protagonist, the narrator, goes to his house, he finds that there is this skull hand that is tied to the wall or something. And then after a few months, the same narrator is called to the house again, but this time to investigate the murder of the house owner, and only to find that the hand that was chained to the wall is now missing. So it kind of has some elements of paranormal fiction, but overall it just wasn't scary at all. I didn't there weren't any stakes. I was just okay, this character that we don't know died, and didn't feel like the author's best work, and maybe just because it was his genre, I assume, but it was okay. So in conclusion, overall, I would give Guy de Maupassant a 4 out of 5 stars. He's a great short story author, and I would definitely like to read some of the other short stories. And I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and turn on that notifications bell so you don't miss another stop on my literary world tour. Also, just random cool fact, I happen to be reading The Elegance of a Hedgehog while reading the books for the stories for this video, and I just realized before filming that the author of The Elegance of Hedgehog is also a French author. So if you guys want me to do a part 2 for France reviewing the book when I finish it, please comment down below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell. I know I already said that, but please do. And bye guys.